Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will debate about the social leadership of Elon Musk. So we shall proceed. Let's move on to question one, please.
So question number one is, how would you define a social leader, and to what extent does Elon Musk fit or not into that definition?
So you have 1 minute to take your time and prepare your response, please. Team against off, you shall start.
Un minuto, vaya pensando.
So please, team in favor of, you shall start.
Okay, so we define a social leader as somebody who refers to the emotional and empathic leadership style of leader who focus on connections. And talking about Elon Musk, we find that Elon Musk can be considered a social leader because he influences the social trends. For example, he can influence the public discourse. Musk engage with millions through social media, making complex scientific and technological topics which are more accessible.
Yes, Gabriel.
As my partners say, a social leader is someone who positively impacts a social environment and culture. Elon Musk is recognized for his transformational and visionary leadership. He sets ambitious goals and motivates his teammates to achieve them, fostering innovation and pushing boundaries. His hands approach and willingness to take risks have been the key of success of the companies like Tesla or SpaceX.
Anyone else?
Okay, answering the question of what extent does he fit, while Musk may not focus on traditional social activism, his innovation and influence have a significant impact on society, making him a modern social leader who transforms the way people live and think about the future.
Okay, so please, team against off. Solange.
Okay. I think that a social leader is someone who actively works to improve society, advocating for values like justice. But why Elon Musk is not a social leader? I think Musk does not lead out of genuine commitment or social safety, but rather for business interests. He has been accused of forcing toxic work environments at Tesla and space, with reports of harassment, exploitation, and racism.
Okay, thank you very much. Gabriela, then Carla.
Okay, so a social leader is someone who helps others to grow and succeed by being a good example and creating a positive environment. This means that they are empathetic, meaning that they understand and care about how others feel. And they also communicate openly and honestly, which helps build trust and strong relationships within a team or community. And why do we think that Elon Musk doesn't fit into this definition? Because the lack of empathy that he has. Musk has made comments that many people find insensitive or hurtful. For example, he has responded aggressively to criticisms on social media, which shows that he doesn't always consider how his words might affect others.
Okay, Carla.
Well, a social leader is an individual that influences the society and the communities. And I think that Elon Musk doesn't fit with the definition because he's more a boss than a leader, and he acts like a non-empathetic person, and he just cares for his opinion, and he doesn't value others.
Okay, so now let's move on to question two, please. Do you think Musk's impact on society is intentionally social, or is it merely a consequence of his business ventures? So, teams, you have 1 minute to discuss it, and then you will show response.
Musk represents himself as a defender of human progress, but his action often contradict this. Their business decisions, such as the mass layoffs of Twitter or currently X, demonstrated a lack of empathy and social responsibility. His impact on society is more a consequence of entrepreneurial ambition.
Anyone else? Yes, Joseph first.
Tesla and sustainable energy through Tesla, Musk has promoted the option of electric and renewable energy. Tesla's mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy.
Okay, so Álvaro, then Daniela and Carlos.
I think Musk's impact on society is more a consequence of his business succeeds because he shapes the industries, and by them stem from ambition and market success rather than a structured commitment than to social leadership.
Responding to my classmate, I think that what he said is just the speech that Elon Musk gives to the society, that Tesla is looking for promoting renewable energies, but it's just a speech because to build the cars, they are still using fossil fuels. So it's just on the contrary of what he's saying.
Please.
Okay, response to the question. Elon Musk has an impact on society is intentionally social because Elon Musk is responsible social media, a spread of misinformation. Musk has shared posts that have been developed false and misleading by fact checkers. For instance, he has promoted claims about an increase in questionable voter registration in various states, raising concerns among electoral officials, and reach of his posts with over millions of followers. His tweets can reach a vast audience, amplifying misinformation and contributing to a public confusion.
Time's up. Anyone's? Yes, Adair.
Musk represents himself as a defender of human progress, but his action often contradict this. Their business decisions, such as the mass layoffs of Twitter or currently X, demonstrated a lack of empathy and social responsibility. His impact on society is more a consequence of entrepreneurial ambition.
Anyone else? Yes, Joseph first.
Tesla and sustainable energy through Tesla, Musk has promoted the option of electric and renewable energy. Tesla's mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy.
Okay, so Álvaro, then Daniela and Carlos.
I think Musk's impact on society is more a consequence of his business succeeds because he shapes the industries, and by them stem from ambition and market success rather than a structured commitment than to social leadership.
Okay. Daniela, please.
Okay, responding to my classmate, I think that what he said is just the speech that Elon Musk gives to the society, that Tesla is looking for promoting renewable energies, but it's just a speech because to build the cars, they are still using fossil fuels. So it's just on the contrary of what he's saying.
Carlos, please.
Okay, response to the question. Elon Musk has an impact on society is intentionally social because Elon Musk is responsible social media, spread of misinformation. Musk has shared posts that have been developed false and misleading by fact checkers. For instance, he has promoted claims about an increase in questionable voter registration in various states, raising concerns among electoral officials, and reach of his posts with over millions of followers. His tweets can reach a vast audience, amplifying misinformation and contributing to a public confusion.
Yes, Adrian.
Elon Musk shows he's empathetic in his business, like SpaceX, because he's worried about the Earth. He says we are betting everything on the Earth. He wants to create a new possibility to humanity to develop in another world, because he knows the resources in this planet are limited. Also, we can talk about his worrying in his actual position in the Donald Trump's government, because he's in charge on reducing the bureaucratic processes for the United States people.
Anyone else? Gabriel, please. Daniel.
It's important to mention that Elon Musk's influence and his impact is for his business, yes, but it's important to say that Elon Musk impact the social sector in this way. For example, Tesla accelerate global adoption of electric vehicles. With the SpaceX, Elon Musk get the interest of the people of exploring and research of the space, and Solar City and Neuralink demonstrate commitment to clean energy solutions and advancement in neurotechnology. It's necessary to mention that his impact is with his business too.
Okay, Daniela.
Referring to what my classmate said about Musk's care about saving humanity, taking humans to Mars. It is important to note that taking humans to Mars costs around $100 billion, one flight to Mars. So only 1% of the humanity could really arrive to Mars. So I don't think that would be a social conquer.
Okay, so we'll go to the next question. Okay, so we'll go to the next question, please. Question number 3, which is his communication and social media has been controversial and sometimes divisive. Does this strengthen or weaken his status as a social leader? Who would like to start? Please, Leandro.
You have 1 minute to discuss it first.
And I really think that related to his social media activity, if this has been controversial, I think that we can affirm that, because in the last times he has been doing some declarations on Twitter or on podcasts about some controversial themes for humanity in his total. Mainly, I could say that in an interview that he had with the New York Times, and by 2020, September 2020, he mainly said that that vaccines are not kind of real. For example, he will not get vaccinated when vaccines appear. Also, he mentioned that those quarantine methods that we used to have were not the best to combat this epidemic. And also he threw some comments like, if someone doesn't want to go to work because he thinks that his family is going to be on risk, just don't go. But when the interviewer asked him if he would pay this employee that doesn't want to work, he just said, I want to answer that question. So with this, I think that we can conclude that his affirmations, or his thinkings, are not something common for a social leader, because he doesn't kind of have this kind of empathetic that my classmates were saying on the first question.
Thank you very much.
About what my teammate is saying, his communication harms a lot, because rather than helping to reduce hatred in the community of social media, for example in Twitter, now named X, it increased by 50% since he became the leader of the platform. If you can show resource number 11, please.
The uses of social media from Elon Musk is an strength, because he has an accessibility and a transparency. The uses of X, he's a charismatic leadership, and he has a market impact and efficient marketing with his social media too. It's not only to have controversial issues, is for impact the cultural section with his comments, or with his image, with his own image.
Okay, thank you, Alan. Okay, Gabriel.
Okay, we can say that the uses of social media from Elon Musk is an strength, because he has an accessibility and a transparency. The uses of X, he's a charismatic leadership, and he has a market impact and efficient marketing with his social media too. It's not only to have controversial issues, is for impact the cultural section with his comments, or with his image, with his own image.
Okay, thank you, Alan.
Okay, well, Elon Musk doesn't just talk because he wants to talk. The reason why he is too transparent is because he wants to activate people. When he says something, he doesn't want to hide something. He wants to tell it like it is what it is. And that's why it allows him to control narratives, inspire movement, and also his ability to influence and mobilize people makes him one of the most powerful social leaders of the digital age.
Anyone else wants to participate? Adrian?
Adding to what my teammate said, we can say also that many people think that by saying these controversial things, he's promoting the free speech, that some may offend about what he says. It's not, this doesn't mean that the things he said are bad.
Okay, Gabriela, please.
Okay, so I have a question. You said that he said. I have a question. You said that he says things that are just what they think and what they are, and the things that he tweets or posts for many viewers are not bad or have bad consequences. So why, after he posts something that is what he thinks, then he deletes it after that? If it's not something bad, then why would he delete it?
The main thing that we have to consider right now is that due to this behavior of Elon Musk since the last 2 years, I think that we can even get to the conclusion that he likes to be the main point of the conversation. Like, he wants to be controversial. I think that this kind of tweets or this kind of declaration that he has made, they are not just his opinion. He does this because he wants to be the person that they are talking about. And I think that we can confirm that. We can confirm that because we know that he joined this Donald Trump partido for the last election. But we are not talking about that. But in fact, I think that we cannot consider a leader someone who wants to be the point of attention. And I think that we can conclude this point by saying that he's a great entrepreneur. He has great ideas for humanity, but we cannot ever consider him a good social leader because his opinions, his lack of empathy cannot make a social community to achieve some good for humanity. His lack of empathy cannot make a social community to achieve some good for humanity.
Thank you very much. So now let's move to question number 4, please. How much should Musk's philanthropic efforts weigh in the evaluation of his social leadership? You have 1 minute to discuss it with your group. Okay, now, so please, anyone wants to comment on this? Wants to participate?
Foundation established in 2022. The Elon Musk Foundation focused on areas such as education, healthcare, poverty alleviation, and sustainable energy. They have donated $2 million to various causes, including medical research and science and technology education.
Yeah, well, Musk's philanthropic contributions often align closely with his personal interests and business ventures. For example, also according to what my classmates said, much of his charitable giving has been directed toward initiatives related to technology and education that reflects his entrepreneurial background rather than addressing broader society issues. And this raises questions about whether his philanthropy is genuinely aimed to helping others or primarily serves to enhance his public image and promote his business agenda.
Yeah, I think that they have mentioned this foundation, the Musk Foundation that he has right now. I think that this foundation is something very good because mainly the objective of this foundation is like donating a lot of money mainly to the research, so investigation and education of projects that are mainly related to sustainable energy, space exploration, and AI. But this foundation has been criticized during the last years for his lack of transparency. We don't really know where these donations come from, and also if we think a little bit about it, this foundation can be considered as something that can also support Elon Musk's businesses, because as I mentioned, these are the kind of projects that they support, like AI, spatial exploration, and that kind of stuff. So I think that we can consider that Elon Musk has this foundation just in order to improve or benefit their own companies. This is not like some philanthropic case.
What my teammate said, I think it would be interesting, in addition to all of his philanthropic work in technology and all the areas that my teammate has said. I think it would be also interesting to help, for example, children in poverty or improve healthcare in the country of where he was born, which is Africa.
Well, in the case of education initiatives for selecting children, he only enrolls in the kids that have exceptional abilities, and also the children from his employees. And I think that as a leadership, the accessibility for other kids who wants to enroll to these educational places, it doesn't include any inclusivity.
Kind of decision not only damage his image as a social leader, but also reveals his true nature, ruthless businessman who prioritizes his economic interest over the people.
Yes, Alvaro.
I think this specific topic that the layoff of Twitter significantly damaged his image as a social leader, because he didn't treat them like they needed to be treated. He didn't respect like job security and foster inclusive workplaces.
Right. About this theme about mass layoffs, I think that we can particularly talk about the one that he made when he acquired Twitter. Now we call it X. I think that this decision that he has made in that time when he fired more than 80% of employees of Twitter, this can be considered a great example of how bad his social impact was on that time, and I think that this cannot be forgiven until nowadays. In that time, he argumented that these firements were due to the fact that the company had to reduce his costs, and this would improve the efficiency of the company. But I think that if we put a little bit to mind to it, these massive layoffs caused an increase of the employment on the global level and an instability economic, mainly on the technological sector, of course, and also this damage that the confidence that people used to have on this platform.
Okay, Daniela, please.
Okay, can we please show the resource number 5? I'd like to talk also about the layoffs that has been taking place in the federal agencies of the United States. It's not Elon Musk that ordered these layoffs, it was Donald Trump who did it. But now Elon Musk is allowed to cut the funds of these federal agencies because of his new position in the government of Trump. And this is related to the fact that those agencies are they have ongoing investigations, pending complaints, or enforcement actions against every of the 6 companies of Elon Musk.
Okay, Carlos.
The argument says about the employee treatment, reports of employee dissatisfaction.
Great. Alan, please.
Well, talking about the education, Elon Musk, yes, he donates, he supports these educations in different parts. For example, in Texas, he donated $10 million to Brownsville, supporting the education and city revitalization near to the SpaceX. Also, he donated to the Khan Academy, which is an academy to help the kids to learn with free online educational resources.
Okay, please Solange.
Well, Musk's business and labor decisions reveal that his priority is efficiency and control, not social well-being. A true social leader cares about people and their rights, while Musk has shown he's willing to sacrifice his employees and the stability of the platforms he controls to maximize power and profit.
Right, anyone else wants to participate? Yes, Leon.
Okay, so time's up. Who would like to start participating?
No? Okay.
Okay, so now you'll be given 2 minutes to prepare a conclusion, please. Team against will start. So you have 2 minutes to prepare.
Section, including complaints about long hours and unsafe working conditions, can contribute to a negative image. High turnover rates may also signal deferred issues within his companies.
Thank you. And Gabriel.
Yes, answer the question. Mass business and labor decisions shows that mass layoffs of Twitter X have sparked controversy and affected his image as social leader. Yes. But, however, supporters argue that his focus on the long-term process, including job creation in industries like space exploration and sustainable energy, balances out the short-term disruptions caused by his difficult decisions.
Okay, Elon Musk is a groundbreaking entrepreneur, but his leadership does not align with true social leadership. His impact on society is largely a byproduct of his business ventures, rather than a deliberate effort to drive social change. His limited philanthropy, controversial labor practices, and disregard for ethical leadership weaken his case as a social leader.
While his innovation shapes industries, his profit driving focus and polarizing decisions suggest he is more of a business model than leader committed to societal well-being.
Okay, thank you very much. Please. Okay, thank you very much. Please, team in favor of. Yes, Gabriel.
Okay, as we say, Elon Musk is recognized for his transformational and visionary leadership. We can say that Musk's style is characterized by a visionary thinking and innovative and disruptive approach. He's also empathetic and assertive with his workers and employees too. Despite the controversial issues or situation, he showed us that he is a really good leader.
Okay.
Yeah, our conclusion, or my conclusion is he's a leader in totality, because he not only built a most popular company or the most important company like Tesla or SpaceX, he take it to the human, to the sky, to the space. With Neuralink, he take it to the human to another world. Just a leader can build this.
And
well, Musk's leadership is unconventional, but it is effective. He's a visionary who gets the results. Yes, he might not fit in the mold of a traditional leader, but his impact on the world proves that leadership can take many forms.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so we conclude this debate. Please, a round of applause for both teams.